Next into the den is 26-year-old Peter Hopton from Sheffield. Now, the Dragons often take issue with a high valuation put on a business, so can they be persuaded to invest £250,000 for a mere 5% of Peter's company?
Hello Dragons. My name's Peter Hopton and I am from Very PC. Very PC have come here today to ask you for £250,000 for 5% of the firm. Very PC manufacture the world's most energy efficient computer equipment. At the moment, the entire IT industry is responsible for more CO2 than the aviation industry. And a normal home PC has a power consumption of around 100 watts, or in some cases, as much as 200 watts. Very PC designed green PCs with a three-step system. The first, economy. We design our machines to be more energy efficient and better in that respect than normal PCs. For example, the Triton PC here replaces a home PC, like for like, and only using 29.6 watts of electricity on average. And this is a green server, using half the power consumption of even the most energy efficient servers from big IT companies. The second point is ecology. We design our machines to be recyclable as much as possible. The third point is performance. The machines perform like the computer the customer would have purchased anyway, providing huge amounts of electricity savings and also an ecological point of view. Very PC have been trading for 4 years. We have grown significantly since winning some major national and international awards, such as the PC Pro Award there. At the moment, we're looking at growth of 30% quarter on quarter. Next month, we're hoping to turn over £100,000, and our margins are better than expected for the IT industry. So, any questions, Dragons?
Bold claims about his green credentials, confident of his financial performance. Will these be enough to help 26-year-old entrepreneur Peter Hopton secure £250,000 cash injection from the Dragons in return for just 5% of his Very PC IT firm?
Just give me a bit more detail. So if I go to PC World and I buy a monitor with a PC in today's market, what am I going to pay for that?
I'd imagine maybe £300 or so.
Okay, and the equivalent from you would cost what?
Maybe 330, 350. Not a lot more, definitely.
Okay, so between 10 and 15% higher.
Yes.
Than the kind of high street comparison.
Indeed.
Okay, and your projection for this year, from a profitability point of view, is what?
Okay, if we looked at the year end, which actually the end of February, showed a turnover of £368,000. Yeah. A gross profit of around 120,000. Yeah. And a net profit at the bottom of about 24,000. Okay,
apply that same 12 months going forward now, February to 09.
We'd expect a net at the bottom of 100,000 or so.
Although Peter seems happy with his figures, an investor would struggle to make their £250,000 back with just 5% of the business. Meanwhile, technology expert Peter Jones has been looking increasingly disgruntled.
I'm Peter. Hi.
Hello, Peter.
You value your business at £5 million. How do you justify that?
We've talked, obviously, with a number of people previously about investment.
Are they in this country, or are they living on another planet?
They're in this country, indeed, yes. Not
on
another planet at all. They are. They're VC and private equity firms within the city.
And they were willing to invest at that level?
They were looking at it seriously.
And why didn't they invest?
We were very open and very honest with them about
our point of view. So you told them that this is a
we told
pretty
them
averagely crap business and there's no point in investing?
Definitely not averagely crap. It's got a very, very strong brand.
See, what's annoyed me is that I know this market very, very well.
Yeah,
and you're sort of 20 years behind. And actually, you're calling yourself green, and I'm actually almost insulted by it. You're about as green as a carrier bag.
Right, and why's that?
Because if I was to install now a system which was one server with 54 screens on a desktop, yes, I would be far more green in your eyes than your system.
The problem with that...
Is that not correct? So one server, 54 terminals.
54 terminals. The server's power consumption is going to be around 300 watts.
How many screens do you get on that desktop?
7.
How many do you need for 54 terminals?
For 54, you'd need 8.
And what's the total output?
8 times 60.
So you're not greener, are you?
However,
No, sorry, no.
the heat from these units will be in the office.
Peter, don't avoid.
You understand me?
You're making me.
The two Peters are locking horns in a technological battle of wits.
You've got the dumb terminals you're not considering. You've got the switchgear you're not considering, and
I
you're also
don't
not
need
considering
switchgear to put a 54 dumb terminal system into a building.
High-tech accusations are flying all over the den, and very PC's green credentials are being called into question.
Run dumb terminals are RS232.
Okay, fair enough. You could run the RS232. It'd be a bit of an old-fashioned way to do it.
I could do it though, couldn't I?
After the toing and froing, a confused Duncan Bannatyne had his say.
Peter, I didn't understand everything you said, but
Okay.
I'm 100% behind you and I believe everything you said.
Thank you.
Wasn't talking to you. Talking to
Fair
Peter.
enough.
Peter, I've never had such rubbish in my life. I'm out.
Peter has received short shrift from a scornful Duncan Bannatyne, who declares himself out. Now, an agitated Theo Paphitis wants to know where the intrinsic value of the business lies for an investor.
What's in your PC that's proprietary that makes your business worth £5 million?
Don't think of this as a technology investment. This is a brand investment. But you have also the technology and the know-how from our design team that have produced all these great products that have won numerous awards.
Right, so I'm going to ask you the question again.
Okay.
Try this time to answer it.
Okay.
What's in your PC that's proprietary that makes your business worth £5 million?
Nothing at all. It's all off the shelf.
So you've got nothing that's proprietary.
Well, except for maybe the BIOS and the software that we program into the machine to further reduce the power consumption, which is our own. But
Peter, I can say you've come into the den today and you've insulted my intelligence to the level which I'm seething with rage. You've said, I've got nothing unique, but I have a brand. And my brand is called Very PC. I know none of you have heard of it, but trust me, it's very, very valuable.
I haven't assumed that any of you have not heard of the brand. I would have expected maybe one of you to have heard of our brand, given the exposure we've had, at least.
Right, before I finish, has anybody heard the brand?
No.
Right, Peter, I'm out.
It's Peter's second roasting by a dragon. Is marketing expert Deborah Meaden about to make it 3 in a row?
This brand that's worth £5 million, is this the same brand that's producing £24,000 in net profit?
Indeed. It became a big brand in December when we had a huge amount of
No, this
press
is not a big
exposure.
brand. Please stop referring to it as a big brand. The only value of a brand is the cash it can generate. There has to be, it's capital. This is generating £24,000 in net profit. The brand is not worth anywhere near
The thing that's
£5
unique
million.
is our design, and a design that politically cannot be copied
Peter,
by large IT
Peter, just
firms.
pause a second so I can say I'm out.
Sure, please do.
I'm out.
Thank you.
Peter has clearly riled the multimillionaire investors, and his pitch is spiralling out of control. James Kahn steps in to have his say.
I run a private equity firm, so I understand
Yes.
the conversations that you've been having. Private equity deals in fact and reality, and I'm giving you the benefit of your projection and saying that you said you would deliver a profit of £100,000
Yes.
and a £5 million valuation. My maths are not great, but that's 50 times earnings. Yeah, IBM is not on 50 times earnings. You know, if they were lucky today, they might be at 20 times earnings. But you are saying to me that my brand is twice as good and more powerful in financial terms than even IBM.
Then please do make me a counter-offer and I'll consider
I'll
it.
tell you the offer I'm going to make you, Peter. I'm out.
Okay. Peter?
It's mutton dressed as lamb. You know, you must be very disappointed in your own personal performance.
Oh, not at all. I think I've done
You
very
should
well
be.
today in countering your questions.
This isn't very PC, it's very poor. And I think you need to understand and go back to the drawing board of what you really want to do with your business. So on that basis, I can't invest, and that's why I'm out.
Thank you, everybody.
It's a crushing finale to a stormy pitch. Peter Hopton never recovered from the Dragon's initial belief that his company's valuation was massively overblown, and he walks away with the sound of fury ringing in his ears.
Well,
Well, Peter, that was obviously pretty atrocious. What's your diagnosis as to what went wrong there?
Well, first of all, I'm rather appalled and disgusted at the fact that they called us not a green brand. Our claims have been independently substantiated by a number of people, from charities to industry experts. Ethical firms find it very, very difficult to get investment in the UK because, really,